again, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Brown's Latest. I'm Dave Grendzynski, but you can call me CRAZIER, and this is where we get you caught up on some of the latest news and the tidbits tied to our favorite team in the NFL. That is, of course, the Cleveland Browns. Thank you to everyone who has liked our previous episodes, all of you who have subscribed to the channel. We will change the fit when we hit 13,000, and boy, oh boy, we couldn't be any closer. Like, we can reach up and touch it. As soon as we get to 13,000, though, we'll change up the fit for just one show. And then thank you to everyone who gets their comments down in the viewer comment section. And today we have a special viewer comment section, our first ever triple viewer comment slammed into one. I'll explain later. But what else is coming up on this show? Okay, Mike McDaniel's season, when he was the head coach of the Miami Dolphins last year, hit rock bottom here in Cleveland. And apparently he never wants to come back here ever again. The NFL Rookie Awards couldn't have been handed out at a better time. You might say it was perfect timing. One former Browns quarterback goes off on our old coach, while there's a bold prediction that a Green Bay Packers quarterback may be on his way here to Cleveland. And then down in the viewer comments, not only do we have the triple comment into one, but we're gonna find out why the Browns should give both Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel a chance in 2026. But okay, let's jump on the crazy train, because this every day. I mean, there's always something. There's something going on. Okay, the one thing is the head coaching vacancies, they remain the same for once, and I don't know how long. At least this week. The Browns, the Bills, the Steelers, the Ravens, the Cardinals, the Raiders. But people are talking to people. Like, it's running rampant. Flores was with the Pittsburgh yesterday, and name a name, and they're probably tied to a team. So where does that leave us? Okay, well, the big news yesterday was, Mike McDaniel was supposed to be here today. And he said, thanks, but no thanks. I'm going to the Chargers. So he's going to go be Jim Harbaugh's new offensive coordinator, which it is fine. It is fine. One, he was never going to be our head coach. We didn't want him to be the head coach because listen to all of the things he was criticized for in Miami. Poor clock management, slow play calls, repeated delay of games, problems with challenges, problems with timeout uses, end of game situation decisions that did not improve over multiple seasons. Do you know who that, if you read that to me, you know who I'd say that was? I'd say that was Kevin Stefanski. This was, I've been saying it all along. For head coach, he was Kevin Stefanski 2.0. But I would have considered him for OC. And, but even that, I mean, this division, man, I go back to the division. You got to win the division first. And I don't think Mike McDaniel is an AFC North division offensive coordinator. So I'm fine with him pulling out his name out of the hat. It's fine. The good news is this. Jesse Minter, he'll be here tomorrow. Jaguars offensive coordinator Grant Udinski will be here on Friday. He blew their doors off the other day. He's the Doogie Howser of football. Just turned 30 years old. And this is the guy that a lot of people are leaning into. Here's where I'm leaning. For head coach, you still have Schwartz in the mix. It could be Udinski. It could be Shielhaas potentially. But I think Udinski and Shielhaas are more on the offensive coordinator path. Because right now, they're not offensive coordinators. Which Udinski is, but he doesn't get to call the plays. So you can upgrade him. But Udinski, still in the mix. Monken, still in the mix, I think, for OC. I don't think Monken's in the head coach talk, and he may end up in New York anyway. But Shielhaas, second interview is coming. Remember, we can't talk to him till after Sunday, so they'll talk to him next week. And then still down there, just hanging out, Shula, pitcher, and Aiden Dirty, who's with the Seahawks, and so you couldn't talk to him until next week if you wanted to either. So there's that. Now, as the head coaching search continues, I want everybody take a deep breath. It's okay. Because I think the initial reaction to the Mike McDaniel news was, here we go, Same old Browns again. They're not going to get any of the good candidates. Everybody's going to be pulling out. Listen, he was never going to be a factor for the head coaching position. So what this does, here's the deal. What this does do is it does set the Browns back a little bit because they're going to need to add a minority to their list of candidates because Mike McDaniel was one of the minorities that they were interviewing to satisfy the Rooney Rule. And so they will have to line up a new interview with somebody. I just feel bad for that person because, I mean, when you call them and say, hey, can you come in for an interview? You know you're just the McDaniel thing. So if anything, I hate McDaniel for putting us in that position, because now it's going to be awkward when whoever you call to bring in here because everybody's going to know why. So it's not, hey, we want you to be our OC or, hey, we want you to be our head coach. It's, hey, Mike McDaniel backed out and we need somebody suggested just bring in Dion and talk to him. I'm like, that's actually not a bad idea, and then let's get him on the staff. Why not? So the other thing is this. Next week, you could still end up with second interviews with Pitcher, Shula, Dirty. Like, we still have all of these viable candidates sitting here. Like, this is far from the end of the world. Glass half full, please. Everybody, deep breaths. All of your top candidates are still on the board, and a couple of them are going to be here in the next 2 days. Udinsky and Minter. Schwartz is still, like, everybody loves Schwartz. And so, and Monken is still there, that experience. Monken and his knowledge of the division is what attracts me to Monken. That's the thing. You've got to win. You've got to think about winning the division first. Win divisions. You win divisions, you earn playoff berths, you earn first-round buys, you earn all kinds of things. Got to win the division first. And to me, right now, the division is for the taking. So, everybody, deep breaths. This is fine. This is good news. Now, the one thing that probably perked everybody up after the McDaniel news was Baker Mayfield going off on Kevin Stefanski. Look at this, the tweet, man. Whoever Orlando is, I'm sure Orlando Ledbetter probably was not ready for this, but he put out that tweet that Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland, named Baker Mayfield, and then Deshaun Watson as well, called them failed, and Baker fired back. He said, failed is quite the reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or a call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach, because now the Atlanta Falcons and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the same division. And so Baker will get to see his old friend Kevin Stefanski twice each season. So, but that's Baker, and now it's manifested into there. That's that bravado. I mean, we love that part of Baker in Cleveland, right? That, I'm not going to take no for an answer kind of that. But the problem is it was as detrimental to him as it was supportive, because I think this backfired on him a little bit too, because what happened last night is after Baker, all that came out and the initial reaction and people talked about it, then you saw some of the Cleveland media members jumping on Twitter and talking about, well, Baker was far from a gem when he was here in Cleveland, talking about how he'd be yelling at team officials on the field after games and in the parking lot at some progressive media briefing or something. He yelled at everybody, all the reporters or something in the parking lot. It's just, it's just like this. It kind of reminded me of like when LeBron left and all the stories about LeBron started coming out here in Cleveland because he screwed us and went to Miami. Oh, and then he screwed us again. Don't forget that. But it was the same sort of thing. So here in Cleveland, I think it backfired on Baker a little bit. But all I know is the NFL loves it because you just created must-see TV. That's why, they like the whole Liam Cohen thing with Salah, at Tennessee, because they had their little thing after like storylines, baby. The NFL knows how to create them, knows how to work with them, knows how to promote them. I'm telling you, this is exactly what the NFL, they want to see this kind of stuff. And so do we. So, because we're all Baker Mayfield fans again because we want to see him beat Stefanski because Stefanski sabotaged our season last year. So but like it goes back to Baker, it goes back to what I've always said. If somebody he was 100% immature. That's what a lot of these, after the fact last night, the tweets that you're seeing, it all goes back to Baker's immaturity. And I just don't understand why Stefanski or somebody in the organization did not take him under their wing and say, listen, it's time you start growing up. He needed to be parented 100%. And didn't do that. So, and whether or not, and the other thing is, well, they knew he was only going to be good, not great. Okay, doesn't matter. Like he was all in doing commercials. He was, people loved him here in Cleveland, and we kicked him out the door. It didn't make any sense. So, but anyway, it was fun to see. That was fun to see Baker go off. And now we got something else though. The Falcons are coming here. We're gonna be watching 3 Falcons games at least. The one when they come here, and then the 2 when Baker plays them. So it's gonna be nuts. I'm telling you, the NFL, it's gone bananas. This is insane what's been happening since the season has ended. Like, this is the most crazy off season. I think in the history of all season. Now, speaking of all season, there's off-season awards that are being handed out, and the Browns, man, as expected, our rookies, not all of them recognized, but the ones that we figured would have been recognized were recognized as the Pro Football Writers of America handed out their awards. And I think that these awards could not have come at a better time, especially in the wake of the Mike McDaniel decision, because Carson Schweschinger, as we've known for weeks, named Defensive Rookie of the Year, our linebacker. And then Mason Graham and Schweschinger, both named to the all-rookie team. Tyler Warren, I put him on there because he just beat out Harold Fannin Jr. for all-rookie team tight end. Fannin was second. And then just to show you, the Offensive Rookie of the Year was Tet McMillan, who I had on my fantasy team, and he was kind of up and down early, and then I made a trade for him. And it ended up being a good trade because I ended up in the championship game. Lost the championship game, but made it to the championship game. But Tet McMillan, and I'm okay with that. So you're like, well, Dave, why is this perfect timing? Well, here's the thing. We're looking for a coach. We're looking for coaches, right? What better way to remind people of how great this situation is here in Cleveland? They're handing out the rookie awards, and you've got candidates coming in, and you're like, oh, yeah, by the way, did you see the young talent that we have? Oh, yeah, did you see that we have the defensive rookie player? And by the way, we're also going to have the overall defensive player of the year in Myles Garrett when those awards come out as well. I mean, this, for the Browns, is a huge selling point and a great reminder to all of the coaches that are coming in. This is why this job is so attractive. All of the young, promising talent that you have to build on both sides of the ball. Yes, the offensive line is trash. Yes, the wide receiver room needs some help. Yes, we need a special teams coach. But a lot of the other parts of this team are in pretty good shape. It's an established, elite defense. Great place to start. And you have organizational commitment. An owner who is not afraid to spend money like a drunken sailor. That's all I will say. So this couldn't have come at a better time. Like I said, it was perfect timing. That's what I'm saying with these awards coming out. So that's something that the Browns brass can remind the candidates as they're walking through the facility out there in Berea. Now, another thing that we talked about last week is we might need a backup quarterback. And because I don't know, Dylan Gabriel he's going to be a career backup, maybe. But I think he'll be a backup. He's the left-handed Colt McCoy, a little smaller though. He's left-handed Colt McCoy. Colt McCoy lasted like 12 or 15 years, whatever he did, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But as this talk continues, remember we went down the list of free agents. Malik Willis is on that list. And then Browns Nation is in an uproar because some unnamed executive from the NFC has a quote in an article about bold predictions for the upcoming season. And he says, I don't think the Browns are going to go into the season with Shedeur as their top option, and getting the right quarterback in the draft isn't a guarantee based on where they pick. He says Malik Willis is coming to Cleveland. So if this guy knew what he was talking about, he wouldn't have been anonymous. Why attach your name to it? If you're going to talk about another team and their quarterback situation and you're not even in this conference, put your name on it, man. So this holds no water for me. To do that, to go out as an NFC executive, whatever you are, you don't even know what that means. What does that mean, NFC executive? Could be anything. It's like Die Hard. Remember Die Hard when he tells him, I think he's a police officer, and Deputy Dwayne is like, what are you talking about, pal? He's like, well, the way he can spot a fake ID, and he's like, he could be a bartender for all we know. This is the same thing. He could be a bartender for all. He could be the executive bartender for all we know. Like this. So everybody, again, deep breaths. Okay. Now, here's the other reason. This is going to be impossible to work out. What do I always say? Follow the money. Look at this. Malik Willis is going to command a contract that is going to be worth anywhere from 10 to 17 million a year. Last year, he went 30 for 35, 85% complete, 422 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. This is how desperate teams are for quarterbacks. This is what a team is going to pay for Malik Willis. Almost 17. He's on like his third team now, right? Was there somebody between this and Tennessee? He also ran for 22 times for 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. He is viewed as a bridge or a competition quarterback. The only way you're going to make this work is if you lowball him on the first year. You give him a low year one base salary plus the signing bonus to keep him as light as possible on the cap. And then you spread the risk out. You don't, if you don't end up using him, then you're not losing anything because, like us, we have our quarterback of the future. So, but here's the other thing. Why wouldn't Green Bay? Why wouldn't Green Bay just do that? Why wouldn't Green Bay say, hey, we'll give you this contract. We'll give you the, you know why? Because they can't afford him either. They're projected to be $15 million over the cap. And, Willis thinks he's going to get a starting job somewhere. That's what his age. They're going to sell him as a starting quarterback. And here's what I'll say. If he was a starting caliber quarterback in the league, he'd already be somebody's starting quarterback. We have seen this all the time. This goes for us. It goes all the way back to Seneca Wallace. I remember when everybody got so excited. We got Seneca Wallace coming from Seattle. And I remember the first thing I told Soda Pop Dave, I go, listen, if he was any good, he would be somebody's quarterback. And he came here and he was what he was, right? And this Malik Willis situation reminds me so much of the Scott Mitchell situation. When remember he filled in for Dan Marino in Miami and he went crazy for 1 year, and then Detroit signed him to that huge contract. And then the only thing that got huge was Scott Mitchell because he ended up on The Biggest Loser. Brutal in Detroit. And I won't say brutal. I mean, he was okay. He was, but no Super Bowls like they thought. No, none of that. But this is Scott Mitchell all over again. And the other thing I'll say this about these backup quarterbacks. When he came in, and because everybody's going to that, he came into that game when Love got hurt, and went nuts. And when these backup quarterbacks come in those situations, they have nothing to lose. They're playing fearless. But what happens is, and you see it all the time, when the backup comes in the middle of a game, no expectations, right? When he comes in, goes and balls out. Then what happens is this, the next week when he's the man and he's got all that pressure on him, not the same. This is why I would not dump millions into Malik Willis, because we have a situation already, where we have Shedeur Sanders, and you have a guy who has already been pegged a career backup in Dillon Gabriel. So that situation is settled. You don't need to be wasting all of this cap space. We need linemen. We need wide receivers. Put that money to a good cause, not to Malik Willis. It's just the money is not going to line up. They are not going to spend that much money on a backup quarterback. When you have two quarterbacks on rookie contracts, it's just not going to happen. So everybody, once again, this is the Deep Breath Show. Everybody, deep, deep breath. Now, one area where you never have to take a deep breath are the viewer comments. And right in line with what we were talking about right now is Charles Henry on cue. TS5VD. Charles Henry says the Browns should give Sanders and Gabriel another chance, frankly. They pick sixth, and there's basically one quarterback with the top rating in this draft, and the Raiders will grab him at number one. So stock the offensive line. Get some more talent at wide receiver. You have a good young running back. We have two good young running backs. You have Graham and Garrett and Schlesinger on the defense, so you have a good start there. So build right for a change. And oh, by the way, dump Watson any way you can. And this is what I'm talking about, folks. Like, if for everybody who's going to go, oh, we got to get Malik Willis. Listen, you know what would happen? This is what's going to happen because Baker Mayfield's on this show too. I guarantee you, if we gave up on Shedeur, and the second somebody else picked him up, it doesn't even matter who it is. The second somebody picked him up, all of the haters, all of the same haters are going to go, oh, here we go. Baker Mayfield all over again. He's going to go there and ball out. And he's going to go win a Super Bowl with them. And then we had him. And I guarantee you that's exactly what the haters would do. And so I am with Charles. Can we just be Team Charles? And just lean into this. And I'm sure those are the conversations that the Browns brass are having with these candidates that listen, we do not want to burn a high pick on a quarterback. We want to see what we have in Shedeur Sanders, the first round talent who fell to us in the fifth round. We have got to play this out. Just lean into this, folks, because it's not such a bad situation to be in. Like I said, all of the haters, there are so many people that are always looking for the next best thing, and they don't see what's right in front of them. Just stop and take a look at what's in front of you. Great take, Charles. Coach D, NXT Gen. So Coach D, Next Gen, says, need a young, relatable OC. I think we have options. I think you have Grendzynski, Shieldhouse. I think Monken and his player development, even though he's not younger, I think we have good options at OC. We got all the options I want at OC. I didn't want McDaniel. I do not want McDaniel. Leanne B. writes. It's actually Leanne B. writes. Says, I like an offensive scheme tailored to the quarterback's strengths. That is Monken's MO. That's why she brings that up. That's the number one thing with the OC. You got to tailor the offense to Shedeur's strengths. And he's got a lot of them. And we heard Lance yesterday in his breakdown, the leadership, the command, the offense got better. The guys play better when he was down. Like, all of that is the intangibles. That's the stuff, like, you can't teach. Everything else you can teach, you know? So the traits are all there. You know, this is so much. It reminds me of Baker Mayfield. The difference is Shedeur Sanders is so much more mature than Baker was. That's where we're at. I'm telling you, this is Baker all over again. We got to get it right this time. Running Beard, 7380. This is a great take. He says, by the way, for the fans who are chasing perfection, know this. All playoff quarterbacks this postseason have turned the ball over 33 times. And we just finished a divisional round. We're only through the divisional round. Also, this is Running Beard. Also, I don't think a single quarterback has completed even 60% of his passes. Caleb Williams, 5 turnovers. May, 5 turnovers. Stroud, 7 turnovers. Purdy, 4. Josh Allen, 4. What we're saying, man, and that's what the haters love to do. The haters love to go, oh, he throws interceptions. Like Shedeur Sanders is the only quarterback in the league that throws interceptions. Well, you know who's on that list? The guy who's up for Player of the Year with Stafford. You got Drake May, who everybody thinks should be the MVP of the league this year, throwing interceptions. You mean that even the MVP throws interceptions? The interception argument is so not an argument, and the haters have got to stop with the interception argument because it is not an argument, and I'm done with the QBR nonsense because that is a made-up stat. It all has to stop. You are so right, Running Beard. You are absolutely right. You take the combination of what Charles said and what Running Beard says, just lean into that. Now, our combination, 3 viewer comments, and then an apology from me. Because remember when I said Todd Monken taught Lamar Jackson how to throw the ball? Well, I should have worded it differently. I should have said he helped him develop his passing game. And Maximus the Great, Marifroggy, and King J all pointed out that, it's like, Lamar Jackson won his first MVP on a 14-2 season in 2019, 4 years before he met Monken. Marifroggy, stop the crap. Lamar was known for having a strong and accurate arm in high school. King J, you are out of your mind if you think he taught Jackson how to throw the ball. Now, Monken did have a significant role in his development in the passing game. Under Monken, since 2023, the Ravens offense jumped to top tier in the league, 23 and 24, including number 1 overall offensive ranking in 2024. Jackson won his second NFL MVP in 2023, had his best statistical passing season in 2024 with 41 TDs and 4 interceptions, which is widely credited to Monken's system. He helped Jackson become a more efficient pocket passer with completion percentage rising into the upper 60s. Nothing wrong with that. And so I should have worded it. Now remember, there's a bit of a shock factor there because he did help teach him how to throw in the NFL and how to work through it. So I'm not entirely wrong. I should have just said, though, he really helped develop his passing game. He did. And so I apologize to Maximus the Great, Marifroggy, and King J. But I also thank you for pointing that out. We need the feedback. That coached me up. I'm fine with that. But now, did you see this? The other bold prediction, there's talk of Lamar to be traded to the Raiders or something. They're talking about trading Lamar Jackson. That's not going to happen either. You just don't do that. Crazy talk is happening right now. So Lamar Jackson's going nowhere. And we will end today with Butch Groves, 4908, who says, after everything we've just talked about, he says, it all sounds good, but... And so it just reminded me of one of my great coaches that I had throughout the years, high school baseball coach, Jerry Chase, coached at Cleveland Central Catholic and at Chanel High School, was in Great person, man. Everybody loved Coach Chase. But Coach Chase would always say, no yeah buts. And this is a yeah but. And I hope the Browns coaching situation doesn't become a yeah but. And what a yeah but is when Coach would tell you something, and as a player, you go, yeah but, and he'd be like, no yeah buts. He'd be like, yeah but, Coach, no yeah buts. And so I'm really hoping that the Browns don't present us our coaches and then go, yeah, but this guy, and this, no yeah buts in this coaching search. That's what I just want to know. No yeah buts. So no yeah buts. All right. It's been eventful. You can see the shows this week are at record lengths because there's just so much to try and get through. There's a lot going on, but boy, oh boy, we'll try to keep up with it best as we can, and we'll keep our eye on it. But no Mike McDaniel in the building today. All right, that'll do it for today's show. Thanks for watching. I cannot thank you enough. Go Browns! We'll see you next time.